Congratulations to Loyola. Really good team that we played tonight. Certainly disappointed that the season ended for us. Proud of our team. Proud of all that we accomplished all season long. Certainly in these last 10 days. We flew or drove to St. Bonaventure, didn't expect to play. St. Bonaventure, California, Chicago. It's been an unbelievable run for us. Disappointing ending. Proud of our team. And again, hats off to Loyola, who's a very worthy team to be continuing to play. And I hope they win the whole thing here in Indy next week. So any questions I'll answer.
You cut the lead down to 9 there, and methodically the offense was going to the 10-0 run. What did you guys do in that stretch to put up defensively and keep the offense running?
Yeah, just got some stops, and they missed a couple shots, probably some open shots that they had made earlier in the half. Again, they didn't shoot the ball great from 3 all night, but they had a kid step up, Jalen Quinn, who hasn't made a ton on the year, and some of our game plan was to not really guard him at the three-point line. He stepped up and made both of his. But they missed some, allowed us to get out in transition when we rebounded, and we made a couple there. And we also actually missed a few that I thought could have made it even tighter, but that's the game. And we had a few turnovers there too, even during that stretch of getting back in the game where, you almost have to play perfect when you get as far behind as we did. And we were able to get stops, but we weren't perfect offensively to get it to be a 1 or 2 possession game. But again, Loyola, really good team, really good program, really good coach, and give them credit for how well they played. They were very well prepared in terms of their scout for us, and we just didn't execute quite as well as we needed to win. But proud of our guys, because it's tough, when you're down 18 on the road against a good team, to battle back and to cut it to 9. And I think we had a shot there when it was 9, maybe, to cut it even closer. But give those guys, give Loyola credit. And my kids compete every night. They've done that basically all year long.
What do you feel like made Miles Rubin effective for them?
He's a really, really good player, and unfortunately we allowed him to catch the ball, on rolls right at the basket. That was one time when we did cut it to 9. I think we were coming out of a timeout and we hit a big 3. Jalen Sullinger, we executed a play and cut it to 9, and we needed to stop there, and he caught a roll layup and one. That possession, we needed to get a stop, and we didn't do what we needed to do defensively, but give them credit because they executed. He's great at getting to the rim. He's quick off his feet, and he's a good finisher at the basket. So he had an impact on the game for sure. Their whole team did. I thought, their roster, they played 8 guys, and I thought every guy for their team had a really positive impact on the game for them, as did our guys, but they just played a little bit better than we did tonight.
I know Von had 4 fouls early on in the second half. What was that? What does he mean to this team, and how big was that kind of game?
Yeah, he had a rough night. Him and Jalen both offensively had a rough night, and Vaughn fouled out, obviously. When he got the 2 fouls in a minute in the second half, I had to take him out of the game. That hurt us. That's when they stretched the lead. Vaughn gives us an inside presence, a guy who we can get the ball to, who can score or demand a double team. We didn't have that quite as much with him out. And, at one point, the game was getting away from us, and it was like, having him sit next to me while the game goes from 16 to 24 and then putting him back in didn't make sense. So it's like, okay, I'm going to play you as long as we can play you. And eventually he fouled out, and it was on a play where, we knew they were going at him on that play, and he fouled, and he needed to not maybe for him to be able to impact us later in that game. And unfortunately, he picked up his 5th foul, and we had to finish the game without him. But he's had an unbelievable career. He's an unbelievable kid who's going to graduate here this spring, who stuck it out at Kent for 5 years, which, again, doesn't happen all that often nowadays, especially for a guy who was, last year he was an all-conference player. And, proud of him. He leaves Kent as the all-time leader in games played. And, this NIT run allowed him to extend that, that record, to make it harder to be broke. I hope one day, all records, I guess, are made to be broken. So I hope one day somebody sticks around long enough to break it, because it means the team was really good and somebody was a really good player who played a lot and, stayed at Kent for that long. But, I think he'll be in the record books for a long time, something he should be really proud of.
When it comes to, you mentioned it, him staying that long is something that's maybe not seen in college basketball, especially in modern day. But to have a players like that and a team like that to make a run in the NIT, how much pride can you take in that kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I'm glad I get to answer, because I take a tremendous amount of pride in what these guys accomplished. So, when we go into the locker room, I didn't even, it's been such a whirlwind, from when we got the call on Sunday evening, which was unexpected. It feels like it was a month ago, quite honestly, because, we find out Sunday evening, we drive to Olean, play on Tuesday, come back, we don't know where we're going. Well, we know where we're going, but we don't know when we're going or where, when we're leaving. We fly across country, practice a couple times, beat Stanford. We don't know, again, when we're leaving, where we knew we were coming here, but we don't know when we're leaving, when we're playing. So it feels like this has been 4 weeks, and it's only been 10 days. So this has been an unbelievable 10 days for our basketball team. It's been an unbelievable 10 days for our school. I've gotten more messages from alums, more emails from fans. We have our sports supervisor here. She's gotten more positive messages about our basketball team and our university over the last 10 days, probably, than we have all season long. So 3 nationally televised games, opportunity to compete, against 3 awesome programs, St. Bonaventure with a ridiculous fan base and unbelievable atmosphere, Stanford, first ACC win in the last 20 years for Kent State. They were 17-2 at home. St. Bonaventure, for those that are followers of Loyola, I don't know who's a follower of Loyola and who's a national follower, but they don't lose at home very often. Unbelievable. And then this place, what an awesome college basketball environment. What the last time I was here as a coach, it was a while ago, but it was not like this. So everyone here that's associated with the program, obviously Coach and the prior Coach Porter, who brought them to unbelievable heights. We played them when Porter was a coach. I'm not sure if it was the Valley or the Horizon, but it wasn't like this. So everyone, creates this, not Porter and not Drew. They have a lot to do with it, but everyone creates this. And what an awesome place to play. And it's been awesome for our team to be a part of this. I said it after the Stanford game, so I get a chance to be on this podium and say it again. Like, the NCAA tournament, I know, will expand, and I hope that somebody listens to me, not many people, but I hope that this event continues, because teams like, and I know Loyola's goal, they've been to the Final Four. Kent's goal is to get to the NCAA tournament, and we've been to the Elite Eight before, but to win games in the tournament. Everyone's goal is that. But these events, the kids will remember this, the players, the student athletes will remember this forever. Loyola's players will remember this forever, what they're doing. Our players will remember this forever. and the opportunity that, college athletics, with the business that it is, the opportunity that college athletics provides the student athletes in these events is it's life-changing for all of them. So I hope, because this is sponsored by the NCAA, that this continues, even if it means that the Final Four is Loyola and Chattanooga, and I don't know who won the other two, but whoever those other two are, great. It's still unbelievable. This was a great basketball game, I think, for whoever saw it. Really competitive. Guys are fighting and clawing their butts off to try to win a championship. One of these teams will win a championship. I'm rooting for Loyola now. I hope they win a championship and get to cut down nets and get rings and celebrate, a championship. Is it the NCAA Final Four? No. But it's really hard. The A-10 had one team in the NCAA tournament too. It's hard to get those bids, and what Drew and his staff and his kids have done to play on the road, San Jose State on the road. They've been on the road for a while too. San Francisco, great team to win that game. That was an unbelievable game. I'm sure everybody watched it. Like, that was as good a game as I've seen all year. And then come back, they get the home game. Great environment, great crowd, and again, we're not, we're a pretty good team now. Like, we won at St. Bonaventure by 20, and at Stanford, who is, the 2 seed in this division. So they beat a good team. These are awesome opportunities for everyone associated. Our school, our program, our players, and we're proud to be a part of it and appreciate the opportunity. I just went really long, so. No problem. Anything? No? All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.